Let's start with Eric Holder in trouble. Michael Berry, is the White House really going to get burned over this thing, or is this just more political BS?
Well, it's a crime. I mean, we've gone beyond political. Look, we can disagree on tax rates. We can disagree on the role of the government, but you can't disagree on crimes. And it's becoming increasingly clear that Eric Holder committed a crime, and now Barack Obama stepped in it in the use of this executive privilege. And I think that this is going to be a huge mistake for them. I think this is their Watergate moment, where the bigger issue than having approved Fast and Furious and been well aware of it, which we're going to see that he was, and probably the president as well, is the cover-up. And the cover-up is the crime. Roger Clemens was tried twice over the silly issue of whether he had steroids put in his butt. I think Eric Holder is going to end up on trial. And more importantly, in a political issue, this is going to cost him in November, because independents are going to see this and see these guys are criminals.
To the left, and Carl.
God, what a fantasy land you live in. Talk about crimes. I'd like to see the Justice Department investigate torture and going to war against the knowledge that they had that there were no WMDs, or the crime of Wall Street bankers. That's what I'd like to see prosecuted. The truth is, this is a political sideshow. For the last year, Republicans have been asking Eric Holder to release documents he cannot release by law. It's political, and you know it. He came in, Darrell Issa, saying the most corrupt administration in history. He's trying to find something about it. When these contempt cases come up, people sit with the chair and they discuss it, and they quietly deal with it, and they're going to make a big political show out of it. And one last question. If you're so concerned about guns killing border agents, and I say it's sad and regrettable that this border agent died, why don't Republicans ever want to close the gun show loophole in this country that allows criminals to have guns right here that killed thousands of Americans every year?
Carl, you owe us 20 seconds as of this moment. Move on to Marco Rubio, and we'll leave it with you, Carl, for the moment. As a running mate for Romney, for 2 days the campaign said, we're not even vetting him. Then when pressed, Romney said, yeah, we are. How do you read that?
Well, I read it is that Mitt Romney has two answers to every question. And go ahead, pick Marco Rubio. I think it's good. I think Hispanics are going to see through it as a crass attempt to get the Hispanic vote, which he's not going to be at. And I'd love to see Marco Rubio on the ticket and explain why Mitt Romney won't take a position on the DREAM Act, which Republicans would not pass when George W. Bush proposed it, which is one of the two good things Bush did, who filibustered it in the Senate in December 2010 when Democrats passed it in the House. The country wants the DREAM Act. Marco Rubio wants it. Mitt Romney won't say.
Michael.
Did Carl just say a crass attempt to get the Hispanic vote? Because Barack Obama didn't do that with the amnesty plan. Surely we've seen through that. And the sad fact is, I'm irritated with both of them. I like Rubio. I like a lot of what he stands for. I like his Tea Party background. I like his ascendance in Florida. And I like some of the ways he has articulated the conservative message in this country. What I don't like is his attempt to pander on the basis of identity politics with a policy that is bad for the country. And I don't think that Romney intends to select him as his running mate because he's too strong a personality, and I don't think Romney can handle that. But I think he feels the need to play the identity politics games that the Democrats do as well. I like Rubio if Rubio would be Rubio, but his DREAM Act proposal was terrible, and I think it's hurt him with the base.
Excuse me, cut
it out
if you want, but I have to respond because
we're going to cut it out.
It is not.
We're going to cut it out.
And Michael,
cut it out.
if it's amnesty,
we're not going to allow this. You're only doing this for your own program, and we're not going to allow it.
Amnesty means a crime.
Michael will keep it
what
with
crime
you.
did young people commit? They didn't make a decision to come here.
No, this is not going to work. Okay, let's move along here. Michael, Bloomberg's reporting the Romney campaign's asking Florida Governor Rick Scott to stop talking about job creation success because it makes Obama look good. Can Romney only win if the economy stays bad?
No, I don't think that that's necessary, although bad statistical numbers coming out always hurt the incumbent president, whoever that is. And the bad numbers that have been coming out consistently are really bad for Obama. I mean, it's the economy, stupid. Carville had a brilliant line, and he was right to push that, and that hurts Obama. But I don't think that he can do the things necessary to change the economy between now and November. And more importantly, I don't think that anyone believes that anything that does potentially happen positively in the economy was the result of Obama's grabs on behalf of the government. And I think that's what's going to hurt him the worst.
Carl.
You know, Ben Bernanke said yesterday, the Fed chair, he warned Congress, you have got to stop this fiscal restraint. You and state governments and local governments, it's a headwind against recovery. The truth is we were having great job numbers until the Tea Partiers took over and stopped the stimulus. The Fed chief knows it. The American people know it. And at least Governor Bob McDonnell in Virginia gave President Obama some credit for the economy reviving in the state of Virginia. And I will say again, you have to commit a crime to get amnesty. And kids under 16 who came here through no decision of their own have not committed a crime. It's not an executive decision. It's a deferral action by the Department of Homeland Security, and it's not amnesty.
Carl, this is for you. 45% of those surveyed in a Bloomberg national poll say they're better off since Obama took office. 36% saying they're worse off. What?
Yeah, it's true. More people should say that. I mean, gay people are better off because they can serve openly in the military. 10 million kids in this country now have access to health care through S-CHIP. They're better off. These kids who graduate high school who happen to have brought to this country, valedictorians in some cases, who want to serve their country in the military or go to college, they don't have to be deported for 2 years because of this president. We're all better off because of his foreign policy, killing Osama bin Laden and resetting the nuclear policy of this country. We're way better off with 4.3 million jobs than the jobs we were losing for 8 years under Bush.
Michael.
I think the better question, instead of asking Americans, are you better off under Obama, would have been asking the Chinese, where 100% of the people would have said, hell yes, we're much better off. The Americans owe us more in debt. They are further in our debt. They're further buying our products, and their economy is weaker than ever. I think the Chinese are even better off than the Americans. You know, when you hand out a bunch of government contracts to unions, when you go in and fight for the union wages that are unsustainable, when you increase the number of public employees, you hand out stimulus funds to green companies that are your buddies, when you hand out double the number of food stamps, those people are appreciative. Daddy Obama has delivered the government goods, and the people who are paying for it, which is a shrinking number of people, aren't better off. That fact is true.
Michael, Carl, thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, guys.